The music world is holding its breath right now, because what's happening behind the scenes of D4VD's rise is starting to look less like a success story and more like a crime thriller. Whispers turned into rumors, rumors turned into reports, and now one explosive headline is shaking the internet. D4VD's fixer is allegedly wanted by police, and an arrest could be coming any moment. For months, fans only saw the polished image, viral hits, sold-out shows, and a young artist moving at lightning speed. But behind that spotlight, investigators are reportedly connecting dots that lead to a shadowy figure operating quietly in the background. This so-called fixer wasn't just handling problems. He was allegedly cleaning messes, silencing situations, and moving pieces that were never meant to be seen by the public. Sources claim authorities are now circling, reviewing phone records, digital trails, and movements that don't add up. One questionable car relocation, one missing timeline, one sudden silence, and suddenly, everything starts to feel calculated. Was evidence moved? Were stories coordinated? And most importantly, who was really calling the shots? D4VD himself hasn't been charged with anything, but the pressure is building fast. When a fixer goes down, secrets don't stay buried for long. Every artist tied to that inner circle becomes part of the conversation, whether they want to be or not. Fans are asking hard questions, the industry is watching closely, and law enforcement may be preparing to make a very public move. If an arrest happens, this won't just be another celebrity scandal. It could expose how the music industry really protects its rising stars. And once the truth starts spilling, there's no rewind button. Stay locked in, because this story is far from over, and the next update could change everything. The headline hit the internet like a lightning strike: arrest coming. D4VD's fixer wanted by police. Within minutes, timelines were flooded, comment sections exploded, and fans began asking the same question: how did we get here? What once looked like a clean, fast rise in the music industry was suddenly surrounded by suspicion, unanswered questions, and a growing law enforcement shadow. To understand why this story matters, you have to rewind to the moment D4VD stopped being just another internet breakout and became a serious industry investment. Labels moved fast, promoters lined up, media coverage turned constant. With that level of momentum, pressure followed. And where pressure exists, fixers often appear. Not managers, not publicists. Fixers operate in the gray areas, handling situations that never make it into press releases. According to multiple reports circulating online, this fixer wasn't just arranging logistics or smoothing relationships. He was allegedly the go-to person when things needed to disappear. Conversations, locations, timelines. People inside the industry describe him as efficient, quiet, and always one step ahead. Those same qualities are now drawing attention from authorities. The first crack in the story came during a court-related inquiry involving a vehicle connected to D4VD's circle. At first, it sounded minor, just confusion about whether a car had been moved. But investigators noticed inconsistencies. Statements didn't match timestamps. Surveillance footage allegedly showed movement that contradicted sworn accounts. Suddenly, what looked like a small detail became a focal point. That's when the fixer's name started surfacing. Not publicly at first, but in legal whispers. Sources claim he was the one coordinating movements that night, instructing who should say what, and when silence was the better option. Whether those actions were illegal or simply strategic is still unclear. But police interest reportedly intensified fast. Then came the silence. The fixer, once constantly reachable, allegedly stopped responding. Phone activity went dark. Social media presence vanished. Insiders say scheduled meetings were abruptly canceled, and travel plans were quietly altered. In law enforcement circles, that kind of disappearance raises red flags. It doesn't prove guilt, but it demands attention. What makes this situation more intense is what hasn't happened yet. No public arrest, no formal charges announced, just mounting pressure and a sense that authorities are building something carefully. Investigators are reportedly reviewing digital records, financial transactions, and communication logs to establish intent and responsibility. Fixers often leave trails without realizing it. Encrypted messages, burner phones, third-party payments, nothing stays hidden forever. D4VD himself remains untouched legally, and it's important to state that clearly. There is no public evidence suggesting he directed or approved any wrongdoing. But history shows that when people in an artist's inner circle come under investigation, the spotlight widens, associations are questioned, decisions are re-examined, silence becomes suspicious, even when it's legally advised. Fans are divided. Some believe this is just another example of the industry trying to tear down a young star on the rise. Others argue that accountability matters. No matter how talented someone is, the most vocal voices online aren't asking for cancellation. They're asking for clarity. Who was this fixer really working for? What was he trying to protect? And why now? Behind closed doors, industry executives are reportedly nervous. Fixers don't operate alone. They interact with lawyers, security teams, drivers, and executives. If one person goes down, stories tend to spill, not out of loyalty, but self-preservation. That's why this potential arrest matters far beyond one name. At this stage, everything hangs in the balance. Police interest doesn't always lead to charges, and rumors don't equal guilt. But patterns matter, silence matters, and movements that don't line up always attract attention. Part 1 ends here. At the moment before impact, the fixer hasn't been seen. Authorities haven't made their move, and the industry is holding its breath, because when the truth finally breaks, it rarely lands softly. As the story pushed deeper into public view, the focus shifted from what happened to who knew what and when. Part 1 ended with silence and speculation. Part 2 begins where pressure starts to crack people who thought they were untouchable. Behind the scenes, law enforcement wasn't reacting to headlines. They were following patterns. Fixers don't become targets overnight. According to industry insiders, this investigation had been quietly developing long before fans ever noticed something was wrong. The vehicle incident was just the spark. What followed was a chain reaction. Investigators allegedly began mapping the fixer's role inside D4VD's wider circle. He wasn't listed on contracts, he didn't appear in official credits, but his name kept appearing in messages, call logs, and third-party arrangements. Security changes, last-minute reroutes, crisis moments that vanished before they could become public scandals. Every time something almost went wrong, this same figure appeared in the background, then disappeared. Again, that pattern matters. Sources close to the investigation claim authorities believe the fixer operated as a buffer, someone designed to absorb risk so the artist and official management stayed clean. That doesn't automatically mean criminal behavior. In the music industry, fixers often handle reputational damage, negotiate tense situations, and manage volatile personalities. But when those actions cross into evidence manipulation, false statements, or obstruction, the line is crossed fast. The most damaging detail emerging now is coordination. Investigators are reportedly examining whether multiple people were instructed to keep their stories aligned to the car incident. Who called whom first? Why did certain statements change over time? Why did timelines shift by minutes, sometimes hours, in different retellings? These aren't mistakes police ignore. These are the kinds of inconsistencies that turn a routine inquiry into a potential criminal case. Then there's the money. While no official charges have been announced, online investigators and legal analysts are pointing to irregular payments allegedly connected to the fixer, short-term transfers, third-party expenses with vague descriptions, payments that don't match standard security or consulting fees. Again, none of this proves guilt on its own, but taken together, it creates a picture authorities can't ignore. Meanwhile, the fixer's absence is growing louder. People who once defended him have stopped speaking. Associates are reportedly lawyering up. Industry contacts say his name is now avoided in meetings, as if mentioning it could invite trouble. That's often the moment when fear replaces loyalty. When self-preservation kicks in, stories change, and cooperation follows. D4VD's camp remains publicly quiet, and legally, that's the smartest move. Any premature statement could be misinterpreted, weaponized, or taken out of context. Still, the silence has created a vacuum, and the internet always fills vacuums with speculation. Some fans are convinced this is a setup. They point to the timing, arguing that young artists with sudden influence often attract scrutiny meant to slow them down. Others believe the industry enables questionable behavior until it becomes inconvenient, then acts shocked when law enforcement steps in. Both sides agree on one thing: transparency in the music business is rare. What's different this time is how fast the narrative is spreading. This isn't just gossip blogs anymore. Legal commentators are analyzing potential charges. Former investigators are explaining how fixers typically operate and how they usually fall. One retired detective put it simply: fixers don't get caught for what they hide. They get caught for how they communicate. That detail may be crucial. Police are reportedly reviewing encrypted messages, cloud backups, deleted texts, and metadata. Even attempts to erase digital footprints can leave behind traces. In modern investigations, disappearance isn't protection. It's often evidence of awareness. Still, it's important to slow the story down. No arrest has been confirmed. No warrant has been publicly released. Being wanted for questioning is not the same as being guilty. The fixer's legal status remains officially unclear, and speculation can outrun facts dangerously fast. Careers, reputations, and lives have been destroyed by rumors alone. But pressure doesn't build without reason. Industry insiders say labels are quietly reviewing internal protocols. Security teams are reevaluating crisis response structures. Everyone is asking the same question privately: if this fixer goes down, who else gets pulled into the light? That's the real fear, because fixers rarely act alone. They operate within ecosystems of silence, where everyone knows a little, but no one knows everything. Once that silence breaks, stories overlap, contradictions appear, and the truth starts forming its own shape. Part 02 ends in uncertainty, not resolution. The fixer remains unseen. Authorities remain patient. D4VD remains legally untouched, but the walls are closing in, not with sirens, but with subpoenas, data requests, and quiet interviews. And if there's one thing history has taught the music industry, it's this: when investigations move quietly, they usually move forward. By the time investigations reach this stage, the outcome is rarely sudden. It's inevitable. Part 03 isn't about rumors anymore. It's about consequences, exposure, and the moment when control starts slipping away from the people who thought they had everything locked down. The fixer's continued absence has become the loudest statement of all. In legal terms, disappearing doesn't mean guilt, but in real-world investigations, it changes everything. Authorities don't chase noise, they chase patterns, and the pattern here suggests awareness. Awareness that questions were coming, awareness that explanations wouldn't hold forever. Sources close to the situation claim police are now shifting from fact-finding to preparation. That usually means timelines are complete, digital trails have been reconstructed, and witness statements have been compared side by side. When stories stop matching, someone talks, not out of betrayal, but survival. If and when the fixer is located, the strategy will likely be simple: pressure and leverage. Fixers know things. They know who called, who paid, who ordered silence, and who benefited most from damage control. That knowledge makes them both dangerous and valuable. Law enforcement understands this dynamic well. Deals get discussed. Cooperation becomes currency. For D4VD, this moment is critical. There is still no indication of criminal involvement, and legally, association is not guilt. But reputational damage doesn't wait for verdicts. The court of public opinion moves faster than any judge, and once doubt enters the narrative, it's hard to erase. Every past move gets reinterpreted. Every silence becomes suspect. The music industry itself may be the biggest defendant here. This case is forcing uncomfortable questions into the open. How often are fixers used to manage crises quietly? How much misconduct gets buried to protect profit? And how young artists are shielded or exposed by people claiming to protect them. If this situation escalates, it won't just impact one career. It could trigger wider scrutiny across labels and management structures. What makes this story dangerous? Its timing. In an era where data never truly disappears, the old methods of handling things don't work anymore. Texts resurface, payments connect, movements are tracked. Silence, once a shield, now looks like strategy. Whether an arrest happens tomorrow or months from now, the damage is already unfolding. Trust has been shaken, questions are multiplying, and once law enforcement applies pressure, the truth usually comes out, not in one dramatic moment, but in fragments that eventually form a clear picture. Part 03 ends not with an answer, but a warning. In the music industry, fame rises fast, but accountability always catches up. When fixers fall, they don't fall alone, and when the truth finally surfaces, it doesn't ask who was ready. It just arrived. Yo, listen up. If you've been following the wild ride around D4VD and his fixer, you already know things are heating up. But here's the deal. You cannot stay on the sidelines when stories like this drop. The Rapscope X channel is where every twist, every legal shakeup, and every behind-the-scenes secret of the music world gets broken down. And trust me, you don't want to miss a second. We're not just talking about headlines. We're talking full stories, exclusive updates, and viral content that gets you ahead of the crowd. When something happens in the industry, Rapscope X is already analyzing it, dissecting it, and giving you the context you won't see anywhere else. Whether it's court drama, celebrity scandals, or hidden moves behind the scenes, this is the channel that turns chaos into clarity. If you like staying in the loop before everyone else, here's what you need to do. Hit that subscribe button now, smash the notification bell, and be ready for daily uploads that break down every detail. No fluff, no filler. From trending news to deep dives into your favorite artists' moves, Rapscope X keeps you informed, entertained, and connected to what's actually happening in the rap world. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about watching. It's about being part of the conversation. Comment your theories, share your insights, and watch as the Rapscope X community debates, reacts, and uncovers the real stories behind the headlines. So don't wait. Subscribe, watch, engage, be on the front lines of rap news, drama, and viral stories that everyone else will be talking about tomorrow, but you'll already know today. Rapscope X is more than a channel. It's your gateway into the truth behind the music industry. Stay locked in, stay sharp, and stay tuned. The story is just getting started.